Hello again, my beautiful peeps. In today's video, we're making a pumpkin pie. Let's do this. So here I'm starting out with a 2-pack of the aluminum disposable pie pans from Dollar Tree, and they come with these little lid cover things, and all I'm doing is opening it up, and that is what we're using as our circle to trace a piece of cardboard to make our fake pie. Any piece of cardboard works. It doesn't have to be anything special. This one's actually from the bar. You can see the little can markings, and that's fine if it has that, because at the end you can't even see it. So once you get it cut out, just set that piece of cardboard off to the side, because later I'm going to use a piece of it for something else. And just make sure that your cutout fits inside your shell. So this first coat of paint that I'm applying, it's an acrylic paint actually from Dollar Tree. And I believe it's called Vermilion. And I'm giving it one nice thick coat. And I'm going to let that dry. Then what I'm going to do, I like to experiment. So I'm going in with that same orange from Dollar Tree, but I'm going to add 1 drop of True Red by Apple Barrel into it and kind of mix it, because I kind of want this color to be a little deeper. It doesn't have to be a certain color. If you want a more whimsical pie, you can keep this color. If you want it darker, you can go and add the red to darken it. You can add a splash of brown, which I end up doing. So with the brown, the burnt umber color, what I'm going to do is, it's called dry brushing. And dry brushing is a technique where it literally is what it sounds. Is you take a drop of paint, and you don't want to waste it. So literally just a drop. And you're going to put it on your paintbrush, and you're just gonna take it and put it against like a paper towel, or if you have a little piece of paper beside you, and brush onto that paper and get all the excess paint basically off of it. So your brush is gonna be basically dry, but it's gonna give really nice dimension to what you're trying to add. Now that the paint is dry, what I'm going to do is go in with some matte Mod Podge and fill in my acrylic paint. Now at this point, what you can do is go in while it's still wet, and you can sprinkle on some cinnamon. I went in and I added cinnamon and allspice. It gives it such a realistic effect at the end. It's crazy. So here I'm just going in with the cinnamon and the allspice and just sprinkling it all over. You're definitely going to want this to set and dry good before we head to make the crust. Now there's so many ways that you can make this crust. I'm going in today with an air dry clay by Crayola. It's a little heavier than I like, but it gives more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? At the end, primitive, I want to say. You'll see. So you'll see here, I'm just taking and I'm getting 2 big ball sizes of the clay. Close that clay up because you don't want it to dry out. And I like to actually add cinnamon in with my mix. You don't have to. I don't know why I like the cinnamon so much, but your girl likes cinnamon. So I just take and kind of make a little dip, and I'm adding the cinnamon, and I'm gonna mix it down, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other one over there. And then we're gonna get out our rolling pin to really get it mixed in there good. I'm gonna combine both of them balls, get it mixed good. And as I'm doing this voiceover, the only way I can describe it is we're gonna make a big fat turd. Okay, and then we're going to take it and we are going to roll it out. Now, when you roll this out, don't just keep the pressure like all in the middle. You want to move side to side, middle, keep going back and forth so that way it's more even. And all I'm doing here is making sure that this fits around the circumference of the top of the pie before I go in and add the pumpkin part, the cardboard pumpkin part. So all I do to attach that is I pinch all the little tabs down so it's nice and snug. And now I'm going back in with my clay and just gently, keyword gently, placing it around the edge. Now, you want to be gentle. I'm just taking my thumb, gentle pressure, and pushing down. And then what I do is I go in and I pinch different areas of the pie and I just spin it all the way around. And then what I do too is I like to go in and pinch the other way. You'll see. So once you're satisfied with how your crust is looking, this clay tends to leave little fingerprints everywhere. So all you need to do to fix that is have a little thing of water beside you, and that's what I'm doing here, is I'm dipping my finger, barely any water on my finger, and I'm just kind of going in on some of the areas where it's super hardcore, my fingerprints. So I wouldn't recommend giving this pie to your enemy because they could really blackmail you. So now we got to make the crust look baked. So what I did was I went in with my famous coffee grunge and I do 2 coats of it and I dry in between with the blow dryer each coat. Now, you don't have to do this. You can just go in with the classic caramel by Apple Barrel, the acrylic paint, and do a dry brush around the whole pie. Or you can go in with the coffee grunge like I am. And I do go in with the classic caramel as well to hit up them extra white spots. And then I do the underneath part of the pie crust with the caramel. It just gives it that effect that we want. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Doom, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Also, another key thing is once this dries, I let it dry a few days. You want to go in and seal this clay up because it has that coffee grunge on it. I just go in with some Mod Podge. You can go in with any type of clear varnish. So here I go with the classic caramel that I said earlier about, and I am going around the underneath. Sorry, I'm not holding it in frame, but that's what I'm doing. And then I go on top of the pie in between some of them white spots, and I dry brush it. I don't cake it on there, I dry brush it. Now what I'm getting ready to do is add a little dollop of cream. Now if you have Spackle, you can go in with Spackle. I'm doing this method because I know when I used to watch a bunch of fake bakes, they would always have stuff that I never had. Like, I never had icing tips. You know, none of that. So here I'm just going to show you what to do in a pinch if you don't have Spackle. Spackle's the way to go with a star tip for that like extra swirly dollop. But I'm showing you here a better method, and it will be easier to clean. Because how are you supposed to clean, them swirly dollops? Grab a Q-tip? Ain't nobody got time for that. So all my mixture is caulking, white caulking. I used a third Mod Podge, and then I ended up using a little bit of that acrylic paint to thin it up because it was pretty thick. Now, I don't measure. I just kind of pour it. Yeah. So, here's just a sandwich bag I take. And what I did to get a cool swirly effect is I took my scissors on that point and I cut vertically up a little slice. And I'm giving it a little test before I put it on my pie before I didn't want to ruin my pie. And it looked really good. And then I screwed up and dropped a chunk. So I end up going in with a popsicle stick and swirling it down and trying to fix it. But hey, this could be a method too. If you don't even have a plastic bag, you can just use a little cup that you mixed it in and a popsicle stick. That works too. You don't need all this fancy stuff to make cool crafts.
Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom. Doom, ba-doom, 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 ba-doom.
So you'll see I added some sprinkles of cinnamon on top there, and that you don't have to do that either. So that chunk of box that I had, I like to add little touches. So I just take and I fold it accordion style. I cut out a little square chunk, and what I'm going to do is write with my Sharpie pumpkin pie. And I go around and I do my little happy dots on all the ends of my little letters. I've always done that. And then I go around with my black and do a couple squiggles. And here, all I'm doing is going around the edges of the cardboard with my Sharpie just to give it some depth. No, yeah, nothing special. So I take my hole punch and I have this little piece of twine. Those are from Dollar Tree, from ornament wood blanks that they had. And I used those for a different craft. So I save all the little pieces of twine for projects like this. And here I'm just trying to figure out where I would like to stick this as a cute little touch. A little trial and error, but I eventually figure it out. And once I set it, the pie's done. At the end of the video here, I'm going to insert a few pictures and explain how I made other pumpkin pies I had made in the past. And I used all different methods to make each one of them. So stay tuned. Oh, look how beautiful!
Oh!
Here's one of the first pies I ever made, and this is just spackle, and I didn't have any fancy tools, so a sandwich bag, and I just snipped the edge off. That was it. Amazing, right? Now this one, I used foam modeling clay for the crust, and I went for a different look. And this one, I did with the air dry clay. Now I took a piece of nautical rope and added to it, and a cute little pumpkin pie sticker. And this one over here was another one of my first. And that one's also with modeling foam clay. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more fun crafting videos.